These are the broad beans, and look at that. They already got the full-fledged pots on it, and this was the one I planted in November, and this one was planted in February. Small pots in there. So I got around 8 plants, and the last one, which is a different flower. Okay, like, look at this. These are the white flower, and these are a crimson color flower, but the pots will be exactly the same. I don't know the reason, but there's different seed varieties. Otherwise, these are looking really good. And these are the beans I recently planted. Some of them you can see picked up the growth. Some of them are yet to be settled down. There's green leaves, that means they're fully settled. See the yellow color leaves, that means they're still trying to settle down. And in 2 weeks time, hopefully all of these will start climbing up. These are the peas, and the variety is called Onward. Basically, you can see all the pots everywhere, and they will be ready in a week's time, maybe 2 weeks time, worst case. The best thing is to pick them as when they are young. The taste is amazing. The more you leave them, and sometimes the caterpillars can get to them, so the best thing is to pick them as when they are young. These are kohlrabi. You can see they are ready to be harvested. If you leave them, they can go really big. This is the purple color one. So I got around 25 plants of kohlrabi, and in between the kohlrabi I planted spring onions. They're taking a back seat because kohlrabi took over, but at the end of the day they will grow once I harvest this kohlrabi. These are the brassicas. You can see broccoli is almost ready to be harvested, and I will be harvesting this later today. Today is 29th of May. These are the broccolis. Most of them are formed, and they will be ready in a couple of weeks time. And look at this one, which is a cullet, and I got a few there in the middle, and at the end I got a purple color Brussels sprouts. These two are purple color, and this side I got the cauliflowers. They're yet to be formed. I can see some symptoms of formation, and this is the purple color cauliflower. Yeah, it's forming, and I got 2 purple color cauliflowers. They are forming, and so far I have no issues with these plants. These are the cabbages. You can see it's forming, and spare broccoli here, and you can see the cabbage are forming. There are 3 green color cabbages and another broccoli there, and the other side those are the red color cabbages, and in the middle those 2 plants are Brussels sprouts. I got one at this end as well, and somehow 2 plants didn't make it. They're okay. I checked, it's not a club root, but still they're very slow in growing. These are the courgettes I planted in a big bucket, and I want to grow them vertically. And that one is the marrow. 1 marrow and 2 courgettes in this big buckets. This is the one of the courgette plant I planted very early in this pot inside the greenhouse. You can see the fruit there. There are 2 fruit. In a couple of days time, maybe 2 days time, I can harvest them. And I got another plant here. This is the yellow color. You can see these are the carrots. 5 buckets, you can see, and I think that one can be harvested in 2 weeks time, and then this below, other 3 can wait. And I have sown another bucket of carrots and they started coming up as well. These are the beetroots I planted under the loganberry, and so far I haven't seen any issue, and you can see they are forming properly. So this is a lesson to be learned. Beetroots can be grown under the complete shade, and I will follow this next year as well, because this space I cannot use it for any other purposes. So I'll fertilize them properly, and I can basically grow the beetroots, maybe some leafy vegetables under this loganberry plant. This is Indian mooli, and look at the mooli is ready to be harvested, and I will harvest this in a couple of days time. These are my autumn planted shallots. You can see they are ready. I will be harvesting them later today. And if you see the onions, they're also ready. They're doing really well actually. And again, these are autumn planted onions. The variety is Turan, and the other side is Red Baron. Hopefully I'll harvest them in a week's time. I need this bed for my squashes. This is my second bed of onions, autumn planted, and look at the size of onion. They're doing good, and also if you see the size, they are ready to be harvested. These are from the seeds I sown, and so far I haven't found any issues. Some of them are multi-planted. Even though they're multi-planted, they're doing well. You can see the 2 onions properly grown. This is my third and last bed of onions. I planted these in February. They are picking up the growth, and these will be harvested in 1.5 months time. It's mid-July. And coriander, they are self-seeded from the compost. Allotment made compost. I've been harvesting this coriander almost a couple of times a week. They're still coming back. These are my spare onions I planted as a 4th bed, and somehow they picked up the growth recently, and they're doing well actually. I have planted only 3 fennel, and they are doing well. This is Indian leafy vegetable called chukakura, and I planted some spinach at the end. The variety is called Heloise. And chukakura, I'm going to leave some of the plants for the seeds, and rest I'll harvest. On the right hand side, dill, and on the left hand side, coriander. These are the seedlings I planted a week ago. This is my asparagus bed. I harvested 12 of them so far. And this is the Indian leafy vegetable called chiraku, and the other side, the green one, is called thotakora. This is Indian leafy vegetable called methi. English name is fenugreek. And I planted the seeds, or I sown the seeds directly in this raised bed outside the greenhouse, which is warm enough for seeds to germinate. And this is the 5th week. meaning almost 35 days, and I'm harvesting. You can see one row I cut the leaves and I leave the rest of the plant as is in the ground, because this plant is also considered as a green manure. It will fix the nitrogen deficiency in the ground. That's the reason why I cut it and leave the rest of the plant, so that the roots are still inside the ground. This one looks like a carrot leaves, but this is one variety of coriander called confetti. I've been using this variety last 5 years. We can plant them from February onwards, and we harvest them from mid-March. So this is the end of May. This is my second batch of the confetti coriander. Whereas the normal coriander, you can see the structure of the leaves. This is the normal cilantro variety, and they're doing really good. This is the chard. You can see it's almost like 3.5 feet tall. I planted last year, and this is the perpetual spinach for my chickens. And if you see here, this is the normal spinach and coriander. I harvested one row, and I got the another row here, and here I got some chard I planted a month ago. So these are all greens. This is the mint. I got plenty of mint in other places as well. Another 2 pots of mint, and this is the chocolate mint. That's the normal mint, and I got another place of the mint, another pot as a mint. These are sage varieties, and this one is thyme, and this one is called curry plant. I never use the leaves. Looks like a rosemary. We will try and use them and then see how they taste. These are the sweet corn, the variety called gold crest. I planted 2 weeks back, and all of them are well settled now, and they started picking up the growth as well. Most important thing is make sure we keep the weeds off from any of the beds, so the energy can go to the plant rather than the weeds taking the energy. This is Indian leafy vegetable called gongura. I planted in these big buckets, and I will be moving outside maybe today or tomorrow, because they settle down now, no issues found. And there you can see the cucumber crawling up, and those are the Indian melons I recently planted. And this one is my Malabar spinach plant, and some of the okra, they're now looking great. Hopefully they'll pull. And some of the gourds there, and spring onions I planted in January. They're ready to be harvested. Another Malabar spinach plant. You can clearly say it's not settled down yet because the leaves are still yellow. And this is the okra plant. And this is the greenhouse, glass greenhouse. And I will be planting some salads in the area where I can see a bit of space on the ground. These are the basil plants. They need to go along with the tomatoes, that's why they're there. And these 3 are cucumbers, and some lettuces and golden purslane. And these are the squash and pumpkins. They're going in the ground later today. These are the brassicas. Once I harvested my broccoli and cauliflower. These are the plants, they go in there in 2 weeks time. Hopefully they'll go quickly. I need to pot them as well later today. This is the polycarbonate greenhouse, and the tomatoes, you can see these will ripen quickly in 2 weeks time, and everywhere the tomatoes. And I supported them with this jute string. And this is my lemon tree. I thought it was dead last year. I put it in a wrong greenhouse and somehow it managed to shoot few shoots. I need to look after this carefully this year. This year I might not get any fruit, but next year definitely I'll get some fruit. This is the greenhouse with a plastic sheet covered, and then tomatoes. I put a couple of tomatoes in a ground, a couple of them in a pot. You can see here all of them are fruiting, no issues at all. And in a ground I got these aubergines, some Indian gourds. They're all looking healthy. Aubergines are fruiting, I can see, and everywhere. So tomatoes, as I mentioned, aubergines again this side, and this is the Indian Karela plant. I got few. Some of the leftover aubergines I planted in a pot. One here, one there, and one there. These are the cucumbers. They started actually fruiting. I need to put them in a ground later today, and the rest of the seedlings will go in a ground maybe in few days. Otherwise this greenhouse is too hot. And these are the Tumbling Tom tomato varieties. They started flowering as well. I got two of them in these baskets. This is the cantaloupe, and those are okras I recently planted. And these are the Indian cucumbers, dosakaya, and that one is okra again. So I recently planted them, and most of them are settled down. When you see the green leaf, for example, that one, you can clearly say this is properly settled down. When you see this, the leaf is still little bit yellow, even though they planted at the same time. For example, this one as well, they haven't settled down yet. Once they settle down, you can see the greens go completely green, something like this. So there's a ant nest. I added diatomaceous earth powder, which is the organic powder, and they're all gone. These are my melons I recently planted, and they are slowly settling down. And some of them, you can see they started crawling as well. And even these two, they settled very well. And whereas these two, not yet settled. You can see the leaf color. These are the sweet peppers, these two rows, and this row is a chili pepper. And you can see the other side, there are some chili peppers and aubergines. 3 plants this side and 3 plants the other side. And there are 2 okras in the middle. One looks like it's nearly gone, and again the ant nest was there, so I sprayed that organic powder to get rid of them. The growth wise, they're doing really well, and I haven't supplied any fertilizer to these plants yet. Hopefully this weekend I should be able to give some fertilizer, seaweed liquid or nettles liquid or comfrey liquid. Anything will do for these plants. Then they'll pick up the growth as well, and also weather is cooperating these days. These are the banana plants. I put them outside by end of March. I took a risk, but they managed to survive. They're looking happy. I need to split the pups or take them out, otherwise the energy will not go to the main plant. This is the medlar. You can see lots of fruit everywhere. And so far I don't see any issues with this tree, like aphids or anything like that. Looking good. This is nectarine. Loads of fruit everywhere. I don't know how many of them are going to be holding onto the plant. Plant can support. If plant support all of them, I will be having at least 100 only for this particular tree. And here I got another tree. The leaves are fallen and some of them are started coming up again. And here also you have around 25 to 30 fruit. Even 50% of them are matured fully. Then I'll have a proper harvest this year. This is the fig, and you can see one there, and somewhere, yeah, one there you can see in the middle. I got one here, around 12 fig. Not too bad, because last year I pruned badly and this year the plant is looking really well. This is my cherry. You can see the fruit there, and some of the fruits there, and this side there are plenty of fruit. Hopefully even if 50% of them are matured, then I'll have at least a few hundreds of cherry this year. This is the loganberry, all crawling everywhere, and you can see lots of fruit. Hopefully it will be ready in 3 weeks time. This is the blackberry. So far shed loads of fruit everywhere, and the side shoots are coming for the next year as well, these ones. This is the grape. You can see they're forming the fruit. Last year I had only 6 bunches, and hopefully this year I'll get more and healthy fruit. These are raspberries. I thought they're dead, but they come back healthy. Not many though, but I'm okay with the less number of plants and good quality of fruit. These are the gooseberries. You can see the fruit, and these are my blueberries, slowly forming the fruit. At the end I put some perpetual spinach for my chickens, and these are the currants. Look at this beautiful strawberries. They're very tasty. This is end of May, and you can see most of them are started ripening there as well, and the other side they just started ripening. Whole of June it will be like this. Once end of June is there, then the strawberries will disappear, and occasionally we might hit a second phase in the beginning of October. Gladiolus, sunflower, lavender, marigold, dahlias, and lilies, cornflower, and these flowers, poached egg, beautiful. And here pansy, begonia, echinacea, and fuchsia, salvia, and look at these beautiful flowers, salvia again, and all this. This is the flower bed I recently made in February, and all these bee attracting flowers, they're still trying to mature, the plants. The dahlias, different colors and different shapes, just forming the flowers. I got 10 pots, and all of them are looking good. Hopefully I'll get the flowers in week's time, maximum 2 weeks time.